Greetings Slashing friends, I'm happy to publish my Warlock build in order to do Corrupted 250 and more. You'll see that it's quite a fun and tanky build to play, and as usual you have the tool in the link below the video. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments. I'll start by how it works, and basically you want to have the Spirit Plague in order to gain mana when you kill an enemy, but also to increase bleeding effect to your enemies. It will be very good against bosses and elites. You also have the Tonic Fissure, which will be our main spell, and the idea is that it will cast Chaos Bolt, and Chaos Bolt will cast Rip Blood. If you have enough mana, you can use Chaos Blood as a second skill, and if you run out of mana, simply use Rip Blood in order to have a spell without any mana cost, and this one will be very useful against bosses. For the mobility, you want to play Transplant in order to gain bone armor, but also to kill enemies below 15% of their life. Now for the skill, you have a Rip Blood with the bleeding chance, everything you have left in Splatter, this one to increase the attack speed and unlock the mana cost reduction. You want also to get some healing here and here, and this one to give you mana when you manually cast Rip Blood. For Spirit Plague, you want to have increased duration, the bleeding effect and the mana just here. It's also important to just put 1 point here in order to spread to enemies when you hit an enemy affected by Plague. Then for the Chaos Bolt, you want to have Rip Blood just here, the fact that it will cast Bone Curse, which is a little plus, and then some mana, some heals, and this one for additional Chaos Bolt. You also want to have here the fact that it will extend the duration of your Tonic Fissure, but it needs to be cast manually. That's why you want to put 1 fissure and then use Chaos Bolt. Finally, you want to have some speed just here, increase area, and some extra projectiles. If you want, you can also get this node, which will greatly reduce the mana cost, but cost you 9% of your current life when you use a Chaos Bolt, so it can be a bit dangerous. For Transplant, you want to have Bone Armor, increased duration, additional effect, and this one for the mana when you use Transplant into a pack of enemies. Just make sure when you do so to have a potion in case it turns a bit bad, but otherwise it will help you to gain some mana. You want to have 2 points on Rip Blood here and 3 points in order to kill enemies below 15%. For the gear, you want to have +2 to Rip Blood in order to have the mana setup, and otherwise try to get some chance to bleed, also a good base of armor, and +2 to the Tonic Fissure in order to also have some damage over time. You want armor, elemental resistance, and for the weapon, make sure to have a two-handed axe in order to have increased physical damage, and you also want on it physical damage, damage over time, chance to bleed, and reduced damage taken from critical strikes. This one is quite good, but if you want to have even a better one, you want instead the increased physical damage to get the mana generation and the max mana. It will be better for this build. Then for the rings, you want some physical damage, damage over time, some heals, and a bit of resistances. For your relic, make sure to have chance to bleed on hit, even if mine is not very good, and otherwise you want damage over time, physical damage, some resistances, and for this one, it's the same, damage over time, intelligence, and some heals. Try to get a better base than mine because they are not that good. Finally, for the amulet, you want to have increased physical damage, damage over time, and also some resistances. You have 2 good uniques in this build, this one for the physical skill, chance to bleed, and either these boots if you want to have increased damage over time, a bit of cooldown, or this one if you want to have increased bleed duration. This one will be a bit more better, but it will depend, that's one you can have. Then to convert them into legendary items, you want mana generation, physical damage, and hybrid life. Don't take endurance, you won't need it. And for the boots too, you also want armor, hybrid life, intelligence, and some move speed. For the idols, you either want to get a boost to your resistances, or you can get a boost in physical, so it's up to you. It will depend of your gear, but the idea is to get some physical damage, some bleeding, and you can also get this one in order to boost your damage. Lastly, for the blessings, you want to have some heals just here, this one chance to bleed, which is very important, some armor and some flat armor, also these ones are very important to get. For the passives, you want to have some intelligence, some armor and vitality, and this one for the physical damage and bleed duration. Just put some point here in order to have intelligence, a bit of mana, bleed chance, damage over time, and this one in order to have also some damage over time, bleed chance, here for a bit of mana. You can also put the 2 points that you have left, and this one, intelligence, a bit of mana, intelligence, vitality, damage over time, and just put 1 point here in order to almost always have haste. For the gameplay, when you're mapping, simply use your curse and then the fissure. You'll see that enemies just die and you can move on, and if you want some mobility and the bone armor, you have the transplant. If you see an highlight or a boss, you can spam Rip Blood in order to increase the bleeding stacks and to heal you, and also to get some mana. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you'll have plenty of fun on this Warlock, and don't forget that you have everything on Last Epoch and our other games on SlashingCreeps.com.